Hello, good morning everyone. Gil here from your Wholesaling Lease Options Marketing Mastermind Group. Welcome to our morning session. You should be able to see my screen here, and we are broadcasting both the screen and the webcam. If you can go ahead and confirm the audio is working good for you, that would be fantastic. We have quite a few people already logged in, a couple of our regulars as always. Great to see you guys live on the session. Tim, did you get the links to the 12 noon session? We sent that out on the chat line yesterday, so hopefully you did get a copy of that link. Otherwise, let us know while we are live on this session so that we can get you the links to the 12 noons. Now, just a friendly reminder, excuse me, if you guys have already registered for one of these daily training sessions, you are automatically in the session for the remainder of the month, so you do not have to re-register. That is definitely one thing I really like, a feature that our members do enjoy when it comes to GoToWebinar, is that they don't have to do the repetitive stuff of having to keep on signing in, which is pretty cool. Now, I'll tell you this. If you are a marketer, or if you're an educator, or if you're a real estate investor that is building your list, your authority, your subscriber base, we did over 6 figures last year just from joint ventures and leveraging other people's times and marketing budget by building a network of property scouts, or people that are what I call weekend warriors. They want to do real estate, but they have an extremely limited amount of time, or they have marketing budgets but are not able to process and work the leads. And so they partner up with, they've partnered up with us, or they are out there wherever you are doing deals, looking to partner with somebody. And so at the very least, guys, you hear everybody tell you, build a list of cash buyers, build a list of sellers, build a list of real estate agents, right? So you're throughout this list building process, building a list of other wholesalers, property scouts. Some people call them bird dogs. Some people can't use the term tomato, whatever is acceptable in your market. I don't care what you call it. At the end of the day, it is a network of people that want to do deals with you, right? And the reason why I bring GoToWebinar Jam or relate that, the difference between the two platforms, I like Webinar Jam because there's some ninja ways in order to get people to sign up and join your list or become a property scout for you, which you can't do with GoToWebinar, right? But in terms of recurring tasks for those of you that are providing content and education for your networks, technically I think I'm looking at a handful of names here where we are the back office and the training for your networks. GoToWebinar has been the easiest for people to transition and use, all right? So it looks like the audio is coming out loud and clear. I'll go ahead and touch base with Bill while I check on some of the feedback here from our group. Bill, how are things going on your end?
Hey, things are going well, Gil. You're loud and clear and the sun's shining.
Oh, nice. It's definitely a lot warmer out here, these days, and don't have to turn on the heater.
Yeah, and don't have to salt the driveway to get out.
Oh my goodness. How's things going over there on your end of the in your market, Bill? What's the latest?
Yeah, it's going fine. I looked at a property yesterday. Um, Actually, is a gal I sold the property to about 5 years ago, and she wants to get out of the real estate business because life has changed for her to the good. She's got a family now and lives 2 hours away.
Okay.
So anyway, I went and looked at that property, so I'll probably make an offer on it today.
Nice, nice. Now, Bill, this question I hear get asked a lot, and it's interesting because most people that get started in real estate, you always start from ground zero. You've never done a deal, you're always getting started. And, we tell people to build a list of cash buyers, motivated sellers, build a list of agents and realtors. Most newbies, most people that are just getting started are very apprehensive, or they have the misconception that, why would anybody in the marketplace want to do business with me if I'm just getting started? What is the value in building a bird dog network? So do you have to have a ton of experience to build a local bird dog network, a property scout network? Is that like a prerequisite before you can start to, network and get other people involved in your marketplace? Or is it okay for people to put themselves out there and say, hey, I'm in the marketplace, I want to do deals, and I'm open to working with people? What's your thoughts on that, on how to move forward for the newbie that has that apprehension or concern about experience?
Well, the first thing to do is just to find out where cash investors are buying in your market. And you can do that by going back to the basics that we talked about, just check it out on the Truly heat maps. So find out, where people are buying and start driving those areas and looking for we buy houses signs and also for sale by owner signs, and call on a few of the signs and see if you can, you know, get some breakfast or lunch with some of those people that are the really movers and shakers, and team up with one of those folks. Tell them that you'll be their property finder, you'll be their property scout if they agree to kind of show you the ropes a little bit. And, you'll find a deal for them, and, you'll split the profits with them or whatever the deal. You'll split the assignment fee in return for them giving you a little bit of training. That way it's not going to cost you any money, and they benefit from getting a great deal and not having to pay a full assignment fee. So you could still make maybe $1,000 or $2,000 off the deal. They can make the balance of it, and you get some good training and finding out, how things are done and how things work in your particular market. The other thing you want to do is, if there's a local real estate investors association, join it and go to the meetings. And, network with everybody and find the doers and movers and shakers in that group, and see if you can connect with them and, ask them what they need. And they'll tell you, we got cash, we got credit lines, we need more properties. And find out specifically what they're looking for, which areas, what kind of properties, what kind of margins they're looking for, and stuff like that. And go out and find those properties and bring them to the table and, split the profits with them or something. So, that's the easiest way to do it. If you've got time and not a lot of money, then that's the way to go. If you've got money and no time, then find somebody else that can do the same thing for you and have them be the property scouts. Back to you.
Nice. Thanks for adding that on it there, and I want to relate that to some of the other questions that we've gotten. Some of our investors are very proactive, and they are comfortable hosting and having a small event or an open house, or meeting with people at a coffee shop and networking. Right now, if you are a couple of tips for those of you that are holding networking events or open houses, I definitely recommend that you have something to offer at the end of these particular networking events, and that you screen or get to know your guest list. right? Two reasons. If you are in a competitive market or an active one, like for example here in Los Angeles County, all right, I've found that there are people that will go to networking events and will actually use those as mediums or recruiting methods or platforms to generate sales for their coaching programs or their own products, right? And I've seen different events just go completely south where the organizer was totally steamrolled because there were participants that kind of stole the spotlight and, ended up making it their show or a sales revenue for them. Now, that's a bit of a big no-no, for me. And just as a general practice in the industry, make sure you pay your respects and touch base with the organizer. It's okay to make offers, right? Definitely. But you want to make sure that's an offer that the organizer has screened or approved, right? Because think about it. They put a lot of time into putting these events together, these networking opportunities, and they have a particular agenda or goal or a desired outcome, and you want to make sure that you are in line with that so that you don't have conflicting messages. So one, courtesy. Two, also so that they can help promote whatever it is you're going to offer, right? And for those of you that are hosting those events, take the time to get to know who is coming to your events so that you can make educated and complimentary offers that will benefit them. Look, at the end of the day, there are people that are going to show up to your events that are looking to buy, that are looking to do business. And if you don't provide them with a solid offer, they will go do business with somebody else, right? So definitely take that into account. I had an interesting email sent to me about somebody that's trying to put together workshops in their particular area. So that's my couple of tips with regards to that. Gil O here says, good morning, Gil. I was working late last night creating my videos on Animoto. It's so much fun. It is. It's kind of addicting, especially once you start to get really good at it. And once again, you spend 15 minutes creating a video. You place it onto YouTube, you let it rank and gain authority over time, and it is a marketing lead magnet. It is a marketing piece that will continue to bring in leads, phone calls, and traffic for your business. That's what I love about these types of marketing campaigns, and I find that they are exceptionally complementary to those that have an extremely limited time for their businesses, or if they have other commitments elsewhere. Right? Tim says, Gil, Steve, Bill, what percentage of your business is lease option deals? In our market here in California, we're using the lease option rent to own as more of a curiosity or like something to pique their interest. That's kind of like our hook. That's our foot in the door. We are approaching it differently from what the rest of our competition and marketplace is doing, where they are just hammering them with a rock bottom cash price. Now, that is okay if you are a high volume marketer, but if you are not, and if you are looking to maximize your budget, then you need to make every lead count. And I find the easiest way to get your foot in the door, continue talking to the lead, and keep them interested and curious is by opening it with a lease option, rent to own, or a top dollar offer. At the end of the day, majority of our business is still wholesaling here in California. In the Midwest, I would say it's about 60-40, 60% lease with an option to buy or rent to own deals. Or a form of creative financing, and then about 40% wholesaling. And that's just where we're at this time of year. And what I see with the other investors, that we are handling their marketing and processing their particular leads. Tina has a question on here. Really good question. With lease options, I've heard of other investors sometimes giving the owner the option to continue advertising the property even once it's under contract. Is that the best use only if you're not 100% sure you can move or flip the property? How would you keep tabs to know whether or not they rent the property? How is that strategy best used? How is it written into the contract? So really good question, Tina. And You will come across homeowners. Let me write some of these questions down. We're getting some killer questions here today from the group, so we can post those in the replay. Tina, when you're dealing with homeowners in the rent-to-own strategy, you should be targeting homeowners in the for sale by owner section, right? So these are people that have made the effort to go ahead and are actually marketing or selling their particular property, right? Some of them are very proactive. They want to be hands-on, and we're okay with that. I would rather have them on my side as opposed to working against us or quote-unquote competing. So here's how I would put an overzealous, overexcited homeowner, somebody that wants to, market and be hands-on. We'll encourage them to market the property, except to place our tracking phone number and email address so that we can screen the tenant buyers. So if you don't have access to a virtual assistant, you've now just converted the homeowner into a virtual assistant who will place ads on your behalf. It gives the homeowner a sense of control, a good feeling that they can be involved in the work process, and they just have the overall peace of mind that, hey, at least I know I'm placing some ads online. So even if these guys don't do anything, there should be some phone calls coming in because I have officially placed the ad, right? I also will, maybe keep in the back of my mind that this could be a homeowner who, may be so involved and hands-on that he'll want to take over the deal, or may have a hard time justifying or compensating us for our work. So I'll make sure that may come up as an issue and a deal breaker, or something that could, bring things to a grinding halt. So in order to address that, indirectly, I'll continue to build rapport, communicate with them to make sure we have a good personal relationship, we got a good business relationship, we're following up, and I can gauge the temperature and see that if it's a genuine sincerity in them wanting to assist, or are they trying to pull something sneaky and cut everybody out of the deal. All right, so I'm aware, I'm addressing it, but I'm not approaching them trying to treat them like a suspect, if that makes sense, right? If you're not 100% sure you can move the property, then that is another strategy where you can demonstrate to the homeowner that, hey, look, you're trying to market the property yourself. We had advised you or made some recommendations on fair price points. Now, we tried marketing the property at $500,000. I told you it was worth $350. You knew it was worth $350. So we can either come to a price adjustment, or you can continue marketing it at $500,000, right? So it's a way for you to keep a lead in, working with you without moving on, trying to do business with somebody else. And they kind of beat themselves up. They learn firsthand, and we don't lose that relationship with that particular seller. Right? Tina, does that make sense? Right? But yes, I would definitely put them to work. We have members that do deals in markets virtually, and not only does the homeowner advertise the property online by placing ads, but they actually show the property as well. Right? So that's some of the things other investors are doing and is possible. Right? Now, was that a high priority seller? I'm still not sure. I'll put them to work. I'll develop the relationship to see if this seller starts to move up in priority, or if they start to try to do things their way and it's more counterproductive. So I may just want to distance myself, follow up from time to time. You just want to be there when they stumble and fall so you can help pick them back up and do business that way. So I hope that makes sense. At the end of the day, you always want to make sure you are proactively marketing the property, but that's some ways I would handle that. Do not worry about the typos. Not a problem. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead and type it in there. Really good one. Go ahead and follow up if you had anything you wanted to add onto that, right? So let me just update our little slide here for our replay notes. How is it written in the contract? You can just put on there homeowner has the right, or both homeowner and the investor, or both the homeowner and XYZ company will be marketing the property in order to gain maximum exposure. And again, put a light spin to it. You know what, Mr. Homeowner, that is a great idea. Now we got my horsepower, we got your horsepower, and let's get this thing sold or get it exposed out in the marketplace. And again, some people are just really stubborn. No matter how much selling and pitching you'll do, they just want to try it their way, and the only time they'll come around to it is when they finally hit that particular roadblock, right? So at the very least, you'll develop that habit of following effectively with your particular leads. All right, so yesterday we talked, we've got an ongoing series right now on squeeze pages, and got some interesting comments on the my status post in Facebook. Especially those that were on the session yesterday, how I mentioned we have over 50% opt-in on some of our squeeze pages. That was not a typo. That wasn't a number or mistake. Those are some hard numbers, and I'll show you here in a second how we calculated that how we arrived at that number. And when you have a squeeze page, right, if you're at 10%, that's pretty good in the industry. But once you know how to tweak the critical components, and again, there's only 3 parts to a squeeze page: your hook, your lead magnet, and the call to action, right? Once you master those 3 and get good at tweaking some of those small those factors, it can significantly boost your particular opt-in rate and conversion rate. So yes, it is possible to be clocking and registering conversion rates of over 50%, right? So I'll get that up for you guys here in a second. Let me check the chat window for some questions that are popping up. I do see one of our panelists and contributors, Steve, jumping on the session. Let's go ahead and touch base with Steve. Do a mic test for everybody, Steve. You are on self-mute, by the way. And see how things are going on your end.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Any particular interest from our virtual wholesaling group? Any questions that they have? You are coordinating the virtual markets here for our investors. Anything interesting to report?
No questions on the table right now.
Got it. Biggest update that I have, because I do coordinate virtual wholesaling markets and other investors that are doing deals in other areas, testing several different markets. Guys, the biggest thing when it comes to doing virtual deals is having a clear workflow and system to manage and process the leads. Simple is better. Don't get all fancy with tagging and all these. Try not to complicate the process. Here's how it works in my business. A call comes in. It triggers something in our system which creates a task for myself or my pre-screening team to call the seller. So they log into the system. They open their tasks. It says call X. They call that person, pre-screen them, fill in the questionnaire, and take some notes. At that point, they will forward the seller to myself so that I can move it forward and continue to build the relationship with them. That's it. All right? And we don't move leads into different categories, into different workspaces. Some of you use Podio, so this is going to make sense. If you don't use Podio, it may not be clear, but simple is better. All right, simple is better, especially when you're trying to do things virtually. You want to stay organized on things. Tim here says, hey, Gil, just got off with one of your friends, Claude Diamond. He says hello. A big hello to Claude. He is a legend in the industry. If you want to talk high-end Rolls-Royce of one-on-one coaching, that man, he has carved out that niche. And he's like the or the Rolls-Royce of one-on-one high-end coaching. That's awesome. He's fantastic. He helped get Jumpstart and got me started in the real estate industry, and I've learned a lot, especially on his sales training and talking to sellers, because you want to be effective in converting your leads, right? And so Claude has some of the best content out there on pre-screening. A lot of those concepts we have applied into our live seller training. And that's how we're able to get virtual assistants from halfway around the world picking up contracts. It's it's simple, straightforward. If you're interested in that series, please contact Steve so that he can add you to our members only group for the live seller calls. It is a members only group where you listen into live calls. We make calls. We'll even process and call some of your leads to get it all exciting. And that way, we make it relevant to your business. Okay, continuing our series on squeeze pages, I left you guys off. I left you with the action item to start coming up with your lead magnets. All right. A couple people are emailing in, asking questions on other ways they can help, come up with effective lead magnets. The first thing I would do definitely is to have you guys check out what your competition is offering there in your marketplace. See what is currently active and going on there in your area, because that is, that's kind of like the benchmark of what's going on. And will give you, some ideas on what you can implement there in your business. So other things that you can do, right? I want to make sure that everybody here's, able to come up with some good lead magnets that are out there. Here are some other samples that you guys can go ahead and work with. You can come up with PDF reports, videos, and you can also do webinars, right? You can do a teleseminar. Now, this may not apply to all of you depending on the strategy or niche that you're doing. So I'll go into each one, give some examples on how different investors and licensed brokers are using these strategies for their business. So pick what applies to your business. Not all of them will, and that's okay, right? Some people are getting confused thinking they have to come up with a webinar series for their motivated sellers. That's not the case, right? So don't worry. All right, so here are the most common ones, once again, that other people are using. So this is a little bit more concrete examples of different lead magnets that your competition is using in your area, all right? And PDF reports, right? Things to look for, what an investor looks for when they are coming up with their cash offer, right? The 3 best moving companies that you can call on that'll help you get up, packed, and running, help you transition out of your particular property, right? You can use other reports or a cheat sheet on how to, for example, fix your credit if you are building a tenant buyers list. We're using Credit Repair as a lead magnet for our rent-to-own strategies to help build our tenant buyers list. You can do videos, right? Now, you don't even have to create your own videos, or you don't have to jump in front of the screen doing your own videos. Gil O was talking about using Animoto to create and do his videos. So again, you can make it interactive. You can go on websites like Animoto.com or Windows Movie Maker, and you can use these to produce high-quality videos. Webinars. How are we using webinars as a lead magnet? We're not using them so much with out-of-state or inherited homeowners. We're using webinars on our retail strategies where we wholesale properties. So we'll have a webinar with first-time home buyers. We see brokers doing webinars on what homeowners, on what people can do to start to transition into home ownership. We used to have a pipeline of short sales. So we were marketing for pre-foreclosures. So we would have webinars with regards to homeowners that are looking to bounce back from losing their home, or that are in potentially tight spot that are going through a short sale. So life after a short sale, what can they do? How can they rebuild? How can they bounce back and continue to fix or clean up the situation that they're in? So couple webinar suggestions and tips for those of you that are licensed and are agents there in your particular area. We've had I've seen somebody else do this. Well, they do a webinar and they're bringing homeowners in and kind of showing them, how to start putting together their own rehab deal, on the property. Too unique of a niche and really specialized, so that's not something that we do or we promote. Again, you would have to be a seasoned webinar and have content that you can train on that, so it's not necessarily something that you can implement and run anywhere else, right? Teleseminar would just be something that there's no video, it's teleconference based, and that's very similar again to licensed brokers and agents that are doing teleseminars for their particular list and their target map or audience. Mind maps, not big on the mind maps. We don't use those for motivated sellers, but we will put out some audios as well. So let's say if we have a PDF report that we're using, then we'll go ahead and record either a video or do an audio of that particular PDF report, right? So they can get a report and they can get an audio download as a lead magnet on that particular squeeze page, right? And then you can also go with a piece of software. With a piece of software mostly related to credit repair, first-time home buyers, some of you are wondering, what does the first-time home buyer have to do? This has a lot to do with the lease option strategy, right? Because you're dealing with people that are looking to transition into home ownership, all right? So they might not be familiar with rent-to-own or lease options. So that might not be the hook that gets them through the door. It may be content about the home buying process. Okay, you can have a lender or a mortgage broker do an interview with them, have them explain what are the factors involved in the home buying process and qualifying for a loan, or some of the paperwork and requirements. You can even have something simple as a PDF report on the checklist of documents that need to be prepared, right? So if you're struggling to try to build a tenant buyer list, take a look at your options and maybe reframe it, or have these leads come in under a different thought process, under a different idea, or just focus on transitioning into home ownership. Okay, what are the items needed to transition somebody into home ownership? You will have to educate and help them move throughout that process, and that may be some of the lead magnets that you will need for building your tenant buyers lists. Right? Now, when it comes to dealing with your motivated sellers, we can talk about you can talk about the benefits of doing business with a cash buyer, pros and cons. Okay, you can explain to them the process. When I deal with my homeowners, I let them know that we do have to buy it at a discount to allow us to make and turn a profit. That's how we stay in business. We give them other opportunities to sell the property. So we'll walk the homeowner through other options that they have at their disposal. All right, and it's interesting because the harder you run after somebody, generally the harder it is that they will flee from you. Right? But in this case, when you're dealing with motivated sellers, the more options you give them and the more they eliminate that, the closer they are to doing business with you. Our homeowners know that if they rehab the property, they can make a good amount of money into it. And we'll give them a ballpark range of the estimate. Right? Some people are very worried about, well, what if they take their business to somebody else? Well, you're already there, and if you built the right rapport, then why not partner with them on the rehab? Then your only capital is the construction cost for that particular property. You don't have to worry about acquisition or purchasing the property since you are now working directly with the homeowner. Again, focus on delivering content, delivering value, providing information, or educating them on how they can fix their problems, what are things that they can do to address and make their situation a little bit better or a whole lot better. All right. We do use the rent-to-own as a lead magnet here in California, again, to open homeowners up or to keep them curious about wanting to do business with us first before going elsewhere. All right, so I'm going to check in here with the group, see if you guys have any other updates or clarifications with regards to that. Bill, in your particular area, when you're dealing with your homeowner, now, what are you guys using as lead magnets, or what type of marketing material are you leaving with the homeowner? Are you leaving a flyer? Are you leaving any information or a sheet, for example, of how the numbers work? what are you using with your sellers in your business so that the homeowner knows that they are getting information, they get value, and allows you to build that trust and rapport so that you can get their business at the end of the day?
Well, we usually give them, either we let them access our website to tell them what we do, or, a lot of our business is lease options, and we have a follow-up email that we use to show the benefits of doing a lease option. For instance, they get to keep 100% of the rent money. They get to make the final decision on the proper candidate for their property, that as of the tenant buyer. Tenant buyer receives there's a credit report and a background check that's run. So in other words, and they get to meet the candidate personally, and, we all sit down at the table and they get to talk to him. So that's the biggest objection that you're going to have with lease options is, am I going to get my rent? Are the people going to tear up the property? And, how do I know that these people are actually going to buy the property? So we satisfy those three objections, when we're doing the lease option strategy. And that usually, peaks this, and especially the fact that they get close to their asking price and they get their full rent. That's really interesting to folks, especially people that have been trying to sell their property traditionally to a retail buyer and have been unsuccessful in doing so. And the other thing that we do, Gil, is your suggestion, which I thought was always a great idea, is one of my last passing comments is in the event that your property doesn't sell, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, to a retail buyer, are you folks just going to rent the property like everybody else in town does when they can't sell? And as soon as they say, well, yeah, we've already discussed that. And I said, well, doesn't it make more sense then, if you're going to rent the property out anyway, doesn't it make more sense to go ahead and rent the property out to somebody that would be interested in buying it or not? And they say, well, yeah, that makes sense. And so that gives you, that opens the door for your lease option strategy. And then that's when we follow up with our follow-up email. If they're not ready to move forward today, we follow up with our email that shows all the features and benefits of the lease option strategy. Back to you.
Nice. Steve, for the virtual wholesaling markets, right, investors, you guys are flipping properties in different territories. We'll test markets. We'll tell you where we're doing deals. You guys will pick up the market moving forward. What are you guys using as lead magnets in order to convert your sellers or get their information? Because you guys are doing things virtually, so you have to have marketing pieces that work. Your sellers have to be curious, or they have to get a certain value, so that they don't start to wonder, you know what, I've never met this person, I don't even know where he is, and ask for a meeting, right? Because once they ask for a meeting as a virtual wholesaler, that's the one thing we can't do, right? Unless you fly into town. I don't know of any investor that does that unless it's a multi-million-dollar profit deal, I guess. But on a day-to-day basis, what are the common lead magnets that you guys are putting out there?
Yeah, I had a seller ask. He kept pressuring me to come see the property last night, and then I was like, I'm in California. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it over there this afternoon, But yeah, I've been using the same. I just piqued their interest on the initial call with a lot of the stuff that you and Bill were just talking about, and then I send them an email. It's more of like a sales letter, explains the points in more detail. And I send them the marketing agreement and follow up. So that's the main thing I use is an email. And I've been using that same marketing piece for 2 years now. I haven't changed it one bit.
Now on the wholesaling side, right? On the wholesaling side, for your lead magnets, what are you guys dropping there? What are you guys using to keep them curious, keep them interested? So that they will give up their information, they'll give up their email, they will, they'll wait until you send them something to do business with you. So what are some of the things that they need to wait on so that you don't lose that lead to any other investor?
On the wholesale side, I don't send a lot of marketing pieces, except for the initial marketing to bring the lead in. Off the initial call, they'll be waiting on me to do some research.
So you are keeping them on ice by, doing initial research. You're going to pull your comps. You're going to send them, a ballpark range. How long are they waiting before they end up moving on with somebody else? Or do you find that when you call them back, they're already telling, sorry, Steve, we've already done business with somebody else? So how much time is that buying you guys in order to still do a deal before you lose the actual seller in that scenario?
I mean, I would say at most you got a week, but I don't get a lot of feedback when I call them back saying that they've sold the property, they've moved on. I mean, usually the people that we're able to do a deal with on the wholesale, they don't have a bunch of offers sitting on their desk anyways. So just the fact that we're a legitimate buyer, we're gonna do research and send them an offer goes a long way with them.
Got it. So any questions or clarifications to that, guys, from the group that we have on our sessions live right now? Can you make the email that Steve uses? Yeah, it's an email we sent out before. Steve, try to pull it up. Let's add it into the files in the Facebook group so that they can go ahead and check out that particular email. Again, what I like about that email, our workflow, right, on lease option leads, call comes in, find out some information, follow the pre-screening questionnaire. That's available in the files in our Facebook group, right? After, we'll basically try to find out if the homeowner is open to renting the house before selling it, or if they can wait a while before selling the property, if they're open to some options and some solutions. We'll send them the lease option email. We'll let that email do the work. In this case, the lead magnet is the overview of how a rent-to-own process works. They read it. It's 1 page, 3 paragraphs, easy to digest, and not only do they get the, they get sold on the process in the form of getting educated on what it is, but, again, it gives them other options. You want to position yourself as a one-stop shop or somebody that can do business in multiple ways. Your concern at the end of the day is that the homeowner, it's a win-win situation for everybody. Okay, it's a win-win situation for everyone. At the end of the day, same-day call, offer in 24 hours are some of the most effective ones that we've seen on squeeze pages in order to get a seller to opt in and enter their actual information, right? Bill here's typing in some hilarious stuff. So Steve T will go ahead and get that updated for you guys so you get access to it. Now, there were some tools and resources that I shared yesterday on how you can build and design your squeeze pages. Simple is better. Okay, simple is better. If you are just getting started, I just recommend the first tool or website, which is Lead Pages. I recommend them before you go into higher technical stuff like Megaphone or Kajabi, for example, right? So keep it simple first. And once you get good at converting these particular leads that are going to your squeeze pages, then you can start to take it up a notch and continue to build up on that process. All right. Can you use video? Yes, Ashley, you can. That's what I like about Lead Pages. You can use video with it. So for the price point, it's pretty robust. That's one of the biggest things that I look for, even on entry-level software, that you can upload a video. Because even if you're not comfortable standing in front of the camera or showing yourself, you can do a PowerPoint presentation and record it. You can do Animoto.com, and you can produce these commercial-looking, high-quality videos. So I do like Lead Pages. What I don't like about Lead Pages is that when somebody opts in via the Lead Pages and it goes to your GetResponse account, they're required to confirm the subscription, right? So there's a double opt-in there. The way to get around that is you get on the phone directly with GetResponse. Let them know that the campaign you are setting up is for homeowners to immediately receive a a cash offer or an offer on the property, and these are homeowners that are in financial distress, they're motivated, it's time sensitive. So they are expecting an offer within 24 hours or less or same day. So they can update that campaign so that it is a single opt-in, and they don't have to verify the subscription or check their email before they get your offer, or you get notified that Jim wants a cash offer there in your particular area, right? So that's the heads up there. And let me touch base here and see what else we've got for this morning's session. But yes, again, other options that you can break down, other lead magnets that you can introduce or go ahead and start using. I am trying to pull up a couple things here. I want to show you guys the results of effective squeeze pages and the kind of info that you can really pull from these homeowners. Because you can literally open these sellers up, and you can do it, you know, online, or have it done. Here, let me show you. What kind of info are we capturing on these campaigns? We're doing them both on Facebook and Google, and we're also advertising in different in other websites that our competitors aren't. So they are, you know, there are some other sites and places where you can place your advertising. And get leads online. It just doesn't have to be Facebook or Google. There are definitely other options available. So let me show you guys again, when campaigns are set up correctly, right, what is definitely possible, what are the type of results you can get. First I'll show you the opt-in rates, right? How many people actually, what are conversion rates looking like on our squeeze pages following these simple concepts that we apply to our squeeze pages. So you guys should see a graph right now. Steve, let me know if you see the content that I have up there. It should be, I'll get you unmuted here. Kind of walk me through it. I've got two screens going on right now, so transferring stuff over. Steve, can you see the different graphs and the opt-ins?
Well, I can see the pie chart over the top of your PowerPoint, and then you have the total subscriptions there.
Okay. So what you guys are looking at, the nice thing when you set up your squeeze page is you can get data and information on the particular, you know, how your campaign is doing, right? You want to be able to measure and track how your online marketing is doing, or how any marketing piece is doing that you're putting out there, so that you know if you will continue to invest more in that marketing channel, if you need to throttle it and scale it down, or if you need to go ahead and cancel it, or make some small tweaks and improvements to the campaign, right? So this is a squeeze page that we had set up and sent leads to. We set up a motivated, to try to find motivated leads for this particular campaign. So there were a total of 9,000 clicks, or people that visited the website. Now, there's two types of traffic or people hitting a squeeze page. Some are unique, others are non-unique. So that's these two items on here, right? Now, what does that mean? Unique is one person visiting the site. So if I went to the website, Steve went to the squeeze page, Bill went to the squeeze page, then that's 3 unique visitors to that squeeze page, right? Now, I may revisit the squeeze page 5 times. Why am I doing that? Well, I want to rewatch the video that they had on there. I want to, I may have missed something, or I was very curious about some of the information presented. Or maybe I'm looking at that squeeze page and thinking, that is such a good hook, that is such a good lead magnet, I'm a little bit on the fence. Let me go back and reread it again and see if this is something I want to, I want to get, or if it's, if I'm willing to give up my information and enter my name and email in the squeeze page, right? So that is the unique and non-unique. Now, unique visitors, so there were 4,832. The subscriptions you're looking at here on the bottom, this is an opt-in. That's how many people entered their name and email right into that particular squeeze page. So there were 3,000 people that went on, that entered their name and email or filled in the questionnaire and information that we had set up. So if we take that number, 3,015, right, that's how many opt-ins went to the squeeze page, divided by the total number of unique visitors that went to the squeeze page. So we're looking at, and we'll multiply this by 100 to get the percentage, right? So that's a 62% conversion rate on a squeeze page, right? That is awesome. People are comfortable, they're giving up their information, and they want to know what's going on, or they want the lead magnet, or they want an offer, they want a quote. At the end of the day, we've accomplished our goal of getting name, email, or name and a piece of information so that we can work with them. Now, inside of once they go into a squeeze page, you have your autoresponder sequence where they can get an email every day, every other day, so that they continue, you continue to have a dialogue and interact with that particular lead that jumped in, right? Now, what are some of the pieces of information that you can get on pay-per-click campaigns via squeeze pages? So this is moving forward. These are the leads that go through the squeeze page that have responded to pay-per-click marketing or a motivated seller-based campaign. What kind of piece of information can we get? The headings here on the top side. Steve, do you see all this up on here by any chance? Sorry, I'm using you as the eyes and ears, making sure that way everybody else can
Yeah, I can
along.
see it. Yeah, the PPC campaign.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So the headers up on here, here's the pieces of information that we're requesting in the form of a questionnaire or in a web form, right? Property address, city, state, zip code, bedroom, bath count, asking price, contact person, contact phone number, secondary phone number, email, the reason why they are selling, what's the situation, what's the story, estimated value, and the loan amounts, right? I blacked out the info on here because they are literally live seller leads, but if I move some of the arrows in the blacked out info, you can see that they are all filled out, or that people are actually entering their information on there, right? So definitely put some thought into your squeeze page process. Come up with an irresistible lead magnet that deals directly or that connects directly with your target campaign. Okay, that deals directly with your target campaign. I'm going to try something here, Steve. I love the whiteboard sessions because I'm able to kind of map things out and draw it. But I was always wondering if I could do a pen and pad session, and if you'll be able to read the stuff that I'm writing on here. Steve, do you see the text if I write on the piece of paper down on here?
Well, you'll have to write some first.
Ah, you passed the test. All right.
I am watching.
It probably helps if I have a nice marker. Do you see that?
Nah. Well,
yeah,
focus. But once it focuses, yeah.
Okay, so let me get a marker and wrap up the session with the process on coming up with the squeeze page. But it's good you guys can see it. Just stick with black. Got it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you guys have follow-up questions, go ahead and type it in the questions portion, and I'll jump on those before we leave the session here. So 1 second, let me get a good marker.
And if you guys if the little window where Gil is really small, there is 2 little white bars in between the 2 screens, and if you hover over that, you can click and drag and make his screen bigger. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hard time seeing the paper.
Test, test, mic test. Can you guys hear me? You won't be able to see me here. Well, you should be right now. But am I back? Audio's good? Let me check the questions. Oh. Use new hardware. Test, test, audio. Tim, I'm going to type that in the... I'm going to type that right now. I'm going to respond to your question. Okay, let me know that you have successfully gotten the link. I did the same yesterday, and everybody was able to get the link. So please confirm. Once again, our afternoon sessions, guys, the 12 noon sessions, are purely internet marketing training. Okay, it's purely internet marketing training. You can apply it to real estate, but we're not talking deal structures or scenarios on there, in case you find yourself wondering what in the world is going on. So I've sent that to all. Gil O says, do you have a free report outline that we can use? I'm not doing free reports. I'm doing offers same day, right? That's what people are opting in and signing up. You can test out free reports. Over the last year, that's been the biggest lead magnet lead magnet slash hook, is being able to give that to a seller. And again, it also depends on who you're targeting. I think a free report would be probably more effective with somebody that has a little bit of time on their hands. So it could be a rent-to-own type of strategy. So I would use a report on there. You can actually convert the email piece that we use and turn that into a report or a cheat sheet if you really wanted to. So it looks like the audio is back. So I'm going to walk you guys through the simple concept that I follow when I design and build my squeeze pages, right? And basically your seller starts out from having a problem, or your motivated seller, and before they go, to get to a desired outcome, I'll have like 4 simple steps that I'll follow when I design and build out my squeeze page. And I'll break that down for you here, and then we will wrap up and jump off our session. Right? So number 1, what's the biggest problem they're facing? Then I'll build my landing page. And then I will send traffic. And then I would get either leads, deals, or appointments. Okay. So Steve, jump on a dialogue with me here, buddy. I always enjoy the sound of your voice this early in the morning. Darth Vader or not, but at least we can get into a dialogue here, and I can walk you guys through this process. All right, so this is my little simple scenario. When I show this, Steve, do you guys actually get to read it, or is the text coming out backwards, Steve? You're on self-mute, by the way.
Yeah, no, that looks good. I don't know what Sentinel Traffy is, but yeah.
Okay, that's actually send traffic, and I'll put some numbers on there. Somebody just type
it comes out the proper, we can read it. Right. Good marker, too. That
Good
works
marker.
way better than the red one.
Expo markers, got them on promo at Office Max. All right, so here's this is the simple process that I follow. This is not a concept that I created. It is from some of the, from my marketing mastermind group that I belong to, and mentors that I follow with regards to marketing. I follow some of the biggest names in marketing, like the Dan Kennedy programs, in terms of direct marketing and direct response marketing. So when I design my squeeze page, I'll focus on what a lead has a problem, right? The motivated seller, the homeowner, they have a problem. Okay? And so I ask myself, what is the biggest problem that these guys face? What is their desired outcome? What do they want? Now, for somebody, a true motivated seller in financial distress, they needed the money yesterday. And that's the biggest hook and lead magnet that I've used, Gillo, here in LA County, is being able to get that offer within the same day so that they can already start to think, okay, we have something tangible. These guys, you know, there could be money in the bank at the end of 30 days. If you're farming probates, you got to ask yourself, what is the biggest problem that a lead going through probate may have? And I can tell you from mining and building out probate funnels, that is, you know, navigating and understanding what is the probate process? How does the court system work? What can they do? Are there loopholes that will allow them to sell the property and get out quickly? Because when it comes to inherited properties, these guys still need to, you know, if they're motivated or in financial distress, they need to sell quickly, right? So when I target that type of probate deal, my squeeze page, my marketing piece, would have a headline: the one secret to being able to sell your probate property or not even have to pass through the court system. Right? So obviously we'll have to make that a little bit more marketable and sounding a little bit more sexy. But at the end of the day, there is certain guidelines. There are strategies that will take a property out of probate, and they are not at the mercy of the court. So we can still put out a marketing piece that delivers that particular message and address the problem that the lead is facing. Okay, so I'll take a look at the lead source and who my target market is. I'll find out what is the biggest problem and what is their true desired outcome. What do they want, right? I'll position that and build a lead magnet around that. Different lead magnets that you can use. There's different scenarios and lead magnets here that we had shared, right? And once I'm able to keep it simple and I know what my target is, then I'll design the landing page. Now the landing page, super simple, right? I broke this down in the earlier sessions or in previous ones. There is a hook, which is a main headline. There is a lead magnet that they get, and there is a clear call to action. Simple is better, right? It's probably going to be above the fold and a very simple layout. So all they focus on is that little web form. They're staring at the hook, and we hit them right where it counts, and we appeal directly to their hotspot, right? They are in financial distress. They need to sell quickly. They got time to wait. We'll show them how to get top dollar and give them some suggestions. How to market their property and you know, gauge and test the marketplace. Maybe we'll give them some tips on where they can post their property. All right, so that they can try to go at it alone, but we've captured their name and email so we can follow up with them to see if the property is still sitting on there. And we do know that there will be properties sitting on the market, stuck on the MLS that haven't sold, right? So that puts me in a position where we now have created value. We've given up content and information. We've captured theirs so that we can follow up with them. And once I have my nice little squeeze page or my landing page set up, I'm going to send traffic. Send traffic is basically, I'll put together a Facebook pay-per-click campaign. I'll put together a Google marketing campaign, or you know, maybe I'll go on a website, okay, and do some advertising on via a newsletter or buy some ad space. Okay, there's other ways to go about it, but once you have your landing page, now you can send people to it. There are investors, and here's their flow, right? Their funnel. They'll send out direct mail. They use what they call PURLs, personal URLs, right? So it's really cool where it says www. It's got the homeowner's address and name.com. All right. Hey Gil, I'm interested in buying your house at 123 Main Street. Right? Go ahead and, you know, if you're interested in selling, I've put together something for you. www.123 Main Street sells Gil's house or buygilshousenow.com. They click on it and they end up on the landing page or that squeeze page. So you're now sending people specifically to that squeeze page, but you're using direct mail. So for those of you that are using yellow letters, this might be a component you want to try to add on there. Test it out. Right? You're not going to know if it works until you actually test the marketing piece directly there for yourself. So you can use personal URLs in the letters. Maybe your campaigns nobody's calling. But if somebody's visiting your landing page, then you verified that people are getting the letter, they are curious, and they are going to the squeeze page, right? Now, if nobody's entering their information, but you have visitors going to your squeeze page, and you know that there's visitors on the squeeze page because you have different tracking mechanisms set up correctly to tell you how many visitors are going to the squeeze page, right? And that's going to give you clues as to what you need to tweak. If nobody's entering their name and email or entering their personal information requesting a quote or an offer, then your hook's not good enough. It's not that impactful. Or maybe your message, right? I believe the term is market to message matching. Your message isn't connecting with your target audience, okay? You're marketing for a lease you have a lease option list, but you are sending a We Buy Houses cash offer marketing piece or message, right? Somebody on a lease option is looking for top dollar. A cash offer at a discounted rate, you're missing the mark here. Nobody's going to sign up on your web form, your landing page, or on your website, right? So, you can tweak your hook, your lead magnet, and you can have a call to action on there. What I recommend for people that are just starting out, have a call to action that allows people to call you right now. Click to call, or call this number, or schedule an appointment. And you can use a third-party tool that's very affordable, very economical, called timetrade.com. Fantastic. You can set up available appointment times on your calendar that homeowners can book to have a consultation with you or talk to you. Check out callgilnow.com. I integrate that with my business so that people can schedule consultation calls with me, and I already have my available time set up. So how would I use that if I'm an investor who's just starting out or really part-time basis? Well, if I only have 5 to 7 p.m. available to make calls, to take calls, because from 9 to 4:45 I'm stuck at my desk job, right? Then I can already funnel people into 5 and 7 o'clock windows and have conversations with those homeowners, as opposed to start picking up the phone at 5 o'clock, crossing my fingers hoping that I get to talk to somebody. Does that make sense? So different ways you can integrate that and have better call to actions. Why do I like people to call? Because it gives, somebody that wants to do business now, especially if you're dealing with motivated sellers, they want to get a hold of somebody right now. They have a problem, they need it helped out. Most people that you guys are seeing our pay-per-click campaign results, these homeowners are signing up on multiple websites, right? They're going to about 2 to 3 others filling out their information, right? Or they'll get other quotes, other lead magnets, other stuff, other offers, right? But they are signing up on like 2, 3 other websites. So knowing that, right? Knowing that, then I'll have a call to action that I'll have people call me as opposed to, we'll call you back within 24 hours. Or worse, just sending them an email and then following up with them 3 to 5 days from now, right? You need to make every lead count and kind of just clear remove all the barriers to try to do business with you, right? So I hope that definitely helps and shows you guys what is possible on a squeeze page that is designed with that mindset, right? What is the desired outcome? What is the biggest problem that they face? The one biggest thing, if you can address that, all right, and just hone in and focus on that, have a simple name and email opt-in on the front end. Now, somebody typed in, so where are you guys pulling the rest of the info? Name and email on the front end, just capture that. And then it takes them to another questionnaire which they can fill out in greater detail. Right, so these are for the ones that are really motivated and really want to get some information, or are in the marketplace looking to sell. Okay, let me take a look at the chat here. Tim says, "Got it, Gil. Like the way you transition to probate." Yeah, it's pretty nifty. It's pretty, again, put yourselves in the shoes. What do they want? What is the desired outcome at the end of the day? That is what you have to speak to, right? What are other hooks and lead magnets or other ways you guys are boosting your conversion rates? If you have a BBB accreditation, if you're licensed, if you're a member of association, put testimonials on there, okay? In your lead magnets and your marketing pieces, things that build social value or higher perceived value and trust, right? Then you really get into marketing and branding. Why do business with you? And believe me, when you're in a competitive market like Los Angeles, you do have to have a competitive edge, a universal selling proposition, something unique, actually, a unique selling proposition, so that they will stick with you as opposed to do business with somebody else. Gil O says, man, Gil, such an awesome idea. Thanks for sharing. Let me know how that works, man. Timetrade.com, right? If you can integrate that in your schedule, and I think all professionals should be using it because it is a nice seamless transition. They pick a time. You already tell them, here's my available times. They will pick a time. It works for both parties, okay? And they can automatically click and call to schedule a consultation. Beatrice, nice, Gil. For the for the people that are getting up to speed, I do have to review several times. No problem. I have to watch a video sometimes multiple times to get an idea and follow along, so that's cool. Timetrade.com, Meredith. Timetrade.com. Okay, and again, that's one of the ways where, in a California market, technology is standard, right? It's very attractive, and it's like, oh wow, it's a nice little sleight of hand trick, which does wonders for your conversion, for the perceived value, and why they should do business with you, right? At the end of the day, guys, with any type of motivated seller, I don't care what lead source, there's always a problem there that they need help with solving. That's why they're going to do business with you. And we always focus on great customer service and building trust and rapport. Some of these, some like to talk for a long time. That is okay if you have the time to hear them out, but, be courteous, be respectful, have the intention that it's a win-win scenario. They will sense that and focus on great customer service, okay? We'll have some videos on how to put together pay-per-click campaigns and other ways you can drive traffic. So some of you guys, I'm very familiar that you have your own websites and you have your own digital and media properties, okay? Here's another fun one for you. You can create an article post on your website, okay? And instead of an actual article with text, it's going to be an image, okay? So take a screenshot of the article that you're writing. For example, it could be 3 things you can do for free that will boost your credit score in 24 hours or in 1 week. I don't know. So it's got to be bold, but it's definitely have to be realistic. It's got to like blow people's minds. You can research online to see what are some of the headlines that are super catchy and how you can modify and apply that to your business. So you take a screenshot of the article that you're about to post the image on your website or on your blog, right? We talked about having lead capture mechanisms. I have that here. We talked about that when we were going to Squeeze Pages. And what happens when they click on that image, a pop-up box comes out. Enter your name and email, or here's a questionnaire, right? Are you thinking of selling? Again, other ways that you can have higher conversions and capture more of these leads in your marketplace. So with that, guys, Bill here says the 3 M's of marketing. Marketing, media, message, and market. Marketing, media, message, and market. There we go. 3 M's. With that, guys, I'll just check the chat line. Let me know what you guys think of today's session. If you have any clarifications, type it in right now. Bill, I'll touch base with you before we jump off. Any last tips and thoughts for the group before we transition out of today's session? Oh, sorry, you are muted. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, great session, Gil. This is awesome, man. Yeah, I also gave you a link to, a guy by the name of Jay. You see that?
Yes.
Are you familiar with him?
You know what? I'll click on the link later on. Sounds familiar, but nothing that comes to mind right away.
Guy's a genius. Yeah, that's who Dan Kennedy would hire to do a marketing campaign for him.
We'll definitely have to check this guy out.
A lot of free information on that site that you'd be very interested in.
Awesome, awesome. So, Steve, any feedback, clarifications on your end from any of the virtual wholesalers in your network or that's part of the group?
No, everything's looking good.
All right. So with that, guys, gives you some tips, ideas, strategies you can implement for your squeeze pages on leads that you're capturing online. Yes, you can integrate this with YouTube marketing. Okay. Let's say they watch your YouTube video, Gil O, on, you buy houses fast in Long Beach. There's a link in the description. When they click on the link, they go to a property information sheet. If you are an educator, they can go on to a student interview questionnaire sheet so you know who you're talking to and what you can best prescribe for them. Ashley here says, I have a question not related to squeeze pages. 24-hour recorded voicemail. Do you use them and what service do you use? We don't use the 24-hour recorded voicemail. I don't recommend it for anybody that's just starting out as well, because you have to be in a position. You're in a position where you have to maximize every lead that comes through the door. You don't have that luxury or that ability to. You know what, Mr. Homeowner, if you don't sound too motivated, and so just call me back if you're interested in selling. You just hang up on them, right? Spend 3 to 5 minutes with a seller. If they're not calling you begging to sell their house, you can hang up the phone because you have somebody literally waiting on the line and your phone is ringing and you have somebody else to talk to. Now, if you're not in that position, you have to make every lead count. We don't use it in we don't use it in any of our markets, even our virtual ones. We can spend an hour on the phones in a market in the Midwest, send about 2 lease option emails. We don't really see any value in having a 24-hour recorded message. If you are doing, tens upon thousands of, units of direct mail, then you will need a 24-hour recorded message so that you can effectively screen out a lot of the other calls. I come from a background of capture every lead, and if you can't do business with them now, either have an autoresponder to follow up with them, or I'll have a telemarketing team do a courtesy call once a month, once every 2 months, and capture that lead, right? Up until we can build momentum and some of these just start falling into place deal-wise. Jason says, got the Time Trade account set up. Great idea. Thanks, Gil. Most welcome, Jason. And I hear you've got a couple trips, fun trips planned, so definitely keep us posted. And I still have to get you our training program for the Spartan race. If anybody here is into adventure races, adrenaline, endurance courses, obstacle course racing, I think is the technical term, we're doing one in June out in Monterey. So we'd love to, June. So we're putting together a team. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, let us know. We'd love to, run the race with you. We're not trying to, break any world records. We just want to finish the course. And so we do go at a reasonable pace. But either way, I think it's a great life experience. If you guys are interested, let us know so that we can have you sign up and enter you as a candidate on our team. So
yeah, hey Gil, Jason keeps asking me what time we're racing, and I haven't got back to him for like 2 weeks, so I'm going to ask you right now.
You know what? We'll probably go early. Whatever.
Do you know what time we're scheduled?
I think we'll probably be scheduled at the earliest one. I'll double check. It's either 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock. If you're just signing up right now for the race, there might not be available earlier times. They may have already been booked up. The good news is, because our team is already registered at the earlier time slot, then we can all just go together at the earlier time slot. So don't panic. If you sign up for the race and it says 2 o'clock, we can, we can Jedi mind trick our way into going to the earlier sessions.
We've done it before, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's not, they're pretty cool about it. If they see like majority of your group is racing at 8 a.m. and you have a start time of 3 p.m., they're cool like that, right? So they'll let you jump on board and go with majority of your team. So that, guys, thanks for hopping on. Killer session today. We'll have the replays posted on our main website, and I'll see you live on the next session. Tim, can you go ahead and confirm you got the 12 noon training sessions? And with that, guys, we'll start to transition out here. I'll officially stop the recording, and we'll see you live on the next session. Hey, Steve, how's it going? I saw you on the session today. Wasn't sure if you were ready to hop on for the Q&A portion. But if you are available tomorrow, please confirm with Mr. Steve as well, and we'll get something on the books there for you so we can get your YouTube videos out. Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Gil on behalf of Bill and Steve. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you on the next live session. Bye-bye.